Hello guys, welcome to part 3 of making Digikai from LEGO Ninjago Season 12. After part 1 and part 2, you should have the torso, the legs, the arms, the wrist and the hands. Okay, so in today's tutorial we're going to be making the head, one of the hardest parts actually. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is click on add. Okay, now mesh. And I know it would be probably more reasonable to use a UV sphere, but trust me, it's easier to use a cylinder to make the head and to manage all the movements. Great! Now move it on the Z axis with G and then Z, and then scale it with S, and then click S and Z to scale it a little bit down on the Z axis. It has to match the edges of the face, but not the rounded part. So now that you have that shape that you like, go to edit mode by selecting the shape and then select the top part, the top face, and extrude it with E. So click on E and then just extrude it a little bit, not too much, on the Z axis. So click E and then Z. Then now that you have extruded it, you're going to click on S to scale it. Okay, so this is going to make the top part of the head more rounded. So repeat this process, extrude and then scale. Good job! Then you have to zoom in and select these 3 edges in the edge select mode. Okay, now activate the edge select O by clicking O on your keyboard. So this is going to help smoothen your movements and make them a little bit more precise, as we saw on the last video. Okay, so click on G and then on the Z axis to grab this part down to make a little detail on the mask, and then just select the middle edge and again click G and then a little bit more down, so click G and then Z. Okay, that looks great actually. So now go to the face select mode, and right now we're going to do the curves. As you can see, there are little curves on the edges of the mask. So we're going to make those by making a lot of loop cuts. So Ctrl R to make a loop cut, and then drag it down just to the lower part of the curve on the right. Okay, and now make another loop cut pretty close to the first one, and then make another loop cut pretty close to the second one. Okay, now that you have done that, you're going to click on Alt and then select one of the edges of the second loop cut and scale it so it looks like the curve that the mask has. Fantastic! It looks pretty great, right? Okay, so now let's make the other curve that's left. Okay, so make the same process. A loop cut, and then a second loop cut, and finally a third one on top of both of them. Okay, that looks perfect. Okay, so now click Alt and select one of the edges of the middle loop cut and scale it, but this time inwards. So it makes an inward curve unlike the first curve. So it gives a little bit more texture to the mask. Okay, I think that's perfect. Okay, so to make the outwards curve that's left now, make the same exact process as the first curve. Okay, so loop cut, then another loop cut, and then don't forget it's with Ctrl R. Okay, then another loop cut, and select the middle one, scale it outwards. Okay, like that. Ooh, wow, it's looking really good. Okay, so after doing this, we're going to do the little things like the white parts on the edge of the mask. So select these 4 faces and then click and hold Shift to select the other 4 faces at the other end of the mask. Then click S to scale and then X to scale it on the X-axis, so it's a little bit more as a rectangular prism. Okay, now that you have done that, you're going to select on the edge select mode these 2 edges, the bottom ones of the rectangular prism we just made. Then hold Shift and select the other bottom edges of the other rectangular prism, and then click G to grab, and then Z to the Z-axis to make it a little bit more diagonal, and then select the top edges and then hold Shift and the other top edges of the both rectangular prisms, then hold G and Z to make it a little bit diagonal as the bottom edges. Oh my god, that looks great! Okay, this is taking a little bit of the shape of the mask. You can see it now. Okay, so now that we have done this, we're going to make the little details that the mask has. For example, the white part where the eyes go. And for this part, we're going to select K and just select the lines of the order. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward this part so you guys don't get bored. Okay, after doing this, you're going to click Enter, and now we're going to do the detail of the border of the black part. Okay, this is going to be a little bit faster because the lines are not that curved. Now click Enter, and now we're going to make the part where the eyes go. There. Now click Enter again and go out of the X-ray mode. On the corner of the right hand, click on the second option to go to the solid mode. Ooh, I must say it looks pretty good. Okay, so we made those details, but it's not that noticeable. So what we're going to do is one of the hardest parts, which is selecting all of the faces of the detail we just made. Now that you have selected all of this, you have to click E and double Z to extrude it on the Z-axis of the shape. This is to give it a little bit more texture, so it looks a little bit bumpy, just like the reference picture. Okay, it looks really good. Okay guys, this next part I'm going to do is just optional. I'm going to do the detail inside the black part, which is the fire element, according to Ninjago. So here it is, the result. I just did it with K as the last parts. It's not perfect, but I like it. And I just clicked E and extrude it inwards to give it this type of look. Oh my god, I didn't realize this part of the logo looks like a backwards K. Well, anyways, this is the end of this tutorial. I hope you guys liked it. If you made it until here of the LEGO Ninjago Season 12 Digikai series, congratulations. I know this is really hard, but it looks really cool, and I hope you guys liked it. Please share, comment, and like the video. Also subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next episode of this tutorial series. Bye! Oh, I forgot to write it. Wait a second. This cannot be an outro without this part. Oh, I messed the exclamation marks up. Oh, wait. Well, bye.